I want to also talk about a perspective that I have not heard mentioned during this boycott that has been going on now for almost 3 weeks, and that is a lot of Asian communities that come into black neighborhoods. They're not just Asian American, but they are also representing their nation. A lot of individuals are first generation, second generation, and they are able to speak their language from their nation, they're invested in their community's culture and the language. And because America has a race problem and they divide and subdivide the population, meaning that they put people of color that are non-black within black American communities, and they provide them access to finances to open up their businesses. They come in with great credit because they've never lived here before. They come in with no criminal background history, but they may have a background of criminal history in their home nation. So you're coming here completely with a slate that's clean, and they're putting you within a group of people that have been here for over 500 years, and yet they punish us because we've been here and because we represent a darker skin of color. With all of that being said, black Americans that have been here over 500 years, we have not come from other nations. If we are descending from slaves on both sides of our parents, we've only been in this nation. We only know America. We only know English. We only know red, white, and blue. Our wars have been fought for this flag, whereas many of these communities that come in here have fought against this flag. And yet, they are still awarded finances to open up businesses. And again, we are punished. And with all of that knowledge, even if you're coming from a different nation, you know that there is a gatekeeping, and you're gatekeeping the finances. And a lot of people would not even come from these different nations if they had no access to finance in America. And so there's an unspoken agreement between America and these, especially East Asian communities that come and migrate into black neighborhoods and open up. A lot of them don't even speak English. They rely on a family member to translate for them. And yet, they know how to exercise racism, profiling, calling the police, ramping up the actual event, making it seem as if all black people are the same. And then you've gotten comfortable here over 100 years, and especially since 1964 when civil rights has been passed. Your communities, and especially East Asian community, you have become comfortable with counting on black dollars. Why? Because the government here in America has never said anything to you in regards to it being wrong. You've become comfortable. You've invited your family over here and saying that if you come into this part of this black neighborhood, you can make this amount of money. Not considering, well, maybe let's get some stakeholders from the black community to help invest in the business, and maybe they would like to also get a part of the business since we've profited for so many years. But you don't think that you have a culture now within a culture, and your culture is black money. That is your culture. Your culture is to gather as much black dollars as you possibly can without anybody saying anything about it. You don't care. You can care less who dies. You can care less if it's racism that you perform when people open your door and patronize your business. You do not care. You have black people that have embraced your nations, that come in these communities, in these neighborhoods for decades. You've got generations that have been eating at your restaurants, buying from your stores, patronizing your nail salons. And once that transaction happens over that credit card machine, you're done. You have no investment within our youth in the community. Nothing. You've never given to a college fund. Nothing. And if the sentiment rings true from the West Coast to the East Coast and the East Coast back to the West, and everybody's saying the same thing about these communities opening up their businesses in our neighborhoods, and we're the only ones that are keeping them funded, don't you think that eventually somebody's going to wake up and smell the coffee? They're going to wake up and they're going to be enlightened that, wait a minute, this is not right. Like, we're allowing our own demise. We're funding your communities, and yet we're not establishing anything for our communities. And we're doing it because we're a very open and embracing type of people. We will support you if you are there. It's convenient. We establish, we think, relationships with you, where on the other hand, the feeling is not mutual. Your culture is so heavily invested in black dollars to where you can't even accept the fact that a group of people is also practicing an American right. It is our right if we want to boycott businesses. If we feel like we're not getting an equal, even exchange, it is our American right to do that. And burning crosses in predominantly black neighborhoods, crashing out because you want to make videos daring. And this is the thing, we didn't come up with this idea. It was someone from your own community that said, please boycott us. They begged us to do it, and so we acted as accordingly. This is nothing in regards to we dislike a group of people. If you don't see it, we've always had a total respect for Asian communities. We've added in our music, in our clothing, even when we didn't have our rights. People like Ida B. Wells, who was a former slave in the NAACP, the National Advancement of Colored People, were at the forefront when we didn't even have our own civil rights. Our people were fighting for your rights here in America. But all of that has gone amiss. Why? Because it's no longer about your Asian culture. It's about the black dollar culture and how you can profit from it. And I'm not saying that the Asian community is a monolith. I know that there's different types of Asian diversities. I understand that. And you have a lot of communities that share within their families a diversity, because I do the same as well. But I have to speak out against this, and especially for the East Asian communities like the Chinese, Vietnamese, South Korean, Japanese, and especially Chinese, South Korean, and Vietnamese. They specifically feel as if they have some type of autonomy over black consumership. They think that black people are one-track minds and that they have figured us out according to their science. They don't even mention the fact that we have our own nail techs, our own beauty supply stores, our own many other businesses that they operate within our neighborhoods. We just don't make a competition between our two groups in regards to it. We've always had black owned businesses, and also too, we are a part, the larger part of the working class, so we don't have to necessarily rely on mom and shop businesses. Made a video last week talking about how the black community got into a position to where there is a dominance of Asian owned businesses within black neighborhoods, and that is because of the last 25 to 30 years due to a decrease in two-parent households in the black neighborhoods and the need for convenience, because black single mothers that are heading these households financially are looking for time-saving, convenient businesses, and that's where a lot of these Asian businesses were filling that void. And this is the other part of the data that they don't add into why there is such a heavy influx of Asian businesses in black neighborhoods. It's because although black women serve a larger community of being educated, however, in the workforce that we are dominating, we have dominated for years, being the workhorse of America. A lot of those roles, even though we have the education for it, we were getting paid less than our white female counterparts, and much less than our white male competitors. So that means that when we go to the bank, even if we have a good credit, if we are not in a position to where we have a two-person household as a married spouse, and we're also earning lesser because of discriminatory practices, it's going to be hard for any bank to approve you for a business loan. But I grew up in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and I didn't become an adult until late 90s, and I grew up with black businesses, and I grew up north in New York, so I was exposed to businesses in Harlem, Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Long Island, and then also too when you're going down to like Maryland, Virginia, and then during the summertime I would go and visit my other side of the family in the South, and it was a plethora of black owned businesses down there. I never really knew about going to outside businesses unless I was going to get pizza, occasionally some Chinese food, and maybe you might go out to a specialty restaurant, okay? But otherwise, we had everything we needed. We had our own black beauty supply stores. We had our own black beauty salons. You get your nails done at the black salon. We didn't have access to these other places, and you definitely didn't have access to all white establishments, even in the north. And that's why I said it's just really, we even had our own airline company in Atlanta at one time that was open for a couple of years and was very successful. We have a lot to be proud of, and currently we still have a lot to be proud of, and this was the push that we needed. Not that we have to drum up business. We've already got businesses established. We just have to make sure that we take pride within ourselves. And for all of y'all FBA black Americans that want to get on social media and want to get views and likes and try to get rage videos with you going into these businesses that you know they don't want you in there, and then you want to turn around to your community and say, see what happened, see how they treat me because I'm black, we don't want to hear it. That's on you. And don't go in there with no funky attitude. Don't go in there with no type of game where you think you're going to shoplift, and don't go in there thinking that you're going to get something for nothing, because you wouldn't expect that to do that in the black business. And let the church say amen. Please let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe. I look forward to your comments in the comment section. We are going to do better, and we're going to show the world that we have everything that we need right within our own neighborhoods. We don't mind supporting other businesses, but we have got to work on our own. It is not about their cultures they left behind and sometimes practice when they're here. It's not about the language. It definitely is about how can I make as much money as I can, because I'm possibly not going to live here forever, and I'm going to go back home to my own country, while Black Americans continue to stay here. Please let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe, and I wish you the best, and thank you so much for listening to the video.